Just laugh at her.
Right then, guys. So this is obviously week 3 of the 30-day program. So what we'll do is we'll jump straight into a screen share. Where are we? Here we are. And we will get cracking. Right then. So week 3, as I just kind of mentioned to you guys, will be just kind of like an introduction to ads, different resources that you can use for ads, and then also kind of some additional resources that are available to you. I'm going to start it off in a small screen just so I can hop out into Business Manager in a moment. Right then, so when you are creating your ad, for me, the best advice for you is obviously to like look at everything that's in module 3, all the resources that are there, and then also there is, I think in module 4 there is some advanced Facebook ads training. So make sure you're having a look through that and taking in all that information. At the moment, because we are obviously transitioning into CEO and a whole new kind of members area, etc., some of that information is a little bit out of date. So what I'd recommend is, 1, obviously take notes and listen to what I'm saying here today. And 2, just to have a look in the CEO official page, Facebook page. And if you go into the masterminds, in the files section, they've all got names. So if you just kind of have a scroll down and watch any of them that are relating to ads, because it will say this mastermind is about ads, blah, blah, blah. So make sure that you're checking those out as well, because that is the most relevant, up-to-date kind of information to do with ads. And it goes in way more detail than I'll be able to get out for you today. So just make sure that you're kind of like taking advantage of that to start with. Also for you guys, my best kind of recommendation, and I do this not just for kind of people that are within the community, but any Facebook ad that I see that I like, it could be promoting shoes, it could be promoting coffee, it could be promoting some kind of, I don't know, any other online opportunity. Just save those ads, because then the next time you come around to writing an ad, you can go back and have a look in your saved file on your mobile, in your Facebook app. And I'll just have a quick look, see if I can. Yeah, it's on desktop as well. So when you just click to where your profile is, there's a section that says saved. And then once you click into saved, I've got like a whole bunch of ads saved up in there. So just kind of save any ads that you're interested in. And then when you come to writing a new ad, you can kind of really dissect those ads and see what it is that caught your attention about them. Was it the picture? And if it is the picture, how can you get a picture that's similar or the same? Was it the headline? Is it really kind of eye-catching, or did the words just really grab you? And if so, how can you create something like that, something that's eye-catching and grabs people's attention straight away with your headline? And if it was the copy is probably, for me anyway, the last thing that I look at. So if it is the copy that's actually caught your attention, that is something really big. So how has that copy caught your attention and why? And it's just important to have a look over the ads that are kind of drawing you in, to know what kind of people you want to attract and how to kind of attract them as well. So definitely make sure that you're taking advantage of kind of saving posts and saving ads. And how you do that is, when you're on Facebook, I'm sure, let me see if I can quickly get something up. Here we go, we'll just use Nate as an example. So, which side is it? This side, there's 3 dots at the top of the post where it says Nate. So when you click the 3 dots, literally the top option is save post. So once you've saved that, then you can view it in your saved section. And as I say, it's just really easy, because then when you're looking through ads that have caught your attention, they're all right there. You're not sitting there thinking, oh my God, I can't remember that ad that I really liked, and what was it that really, like, caught my attention about it. It's right there for you to have a look at. Okay then. So other than that, you want to make sure that kind of everything you're doing is in line with each other. So if you're on about kind of working from the beach, you don't put, I don't know, a picture of a field or something. Like, make sure it's all kind of in line and makes sense. And that kind of goes with your landing page as well. So when you guys have got your landing page, just have a click through yourself, pop your email in, pop your name in, and just see how everything's kind of set out and what the language being used on there is. So a small example of that is that if you say in your ad, attend our free webinar, but on your landing page, so on your website, it says attend our masterclass, the person that's kind of clicking through your ad is seeing at one point they're attending a webinar, at one point they're attending a masterclass. Like, what are they actually going to? So you want that to all be completely like fluid, completely make sense, and just be really easy for the person that's looking at it to follow. I'd also highly recommend to get your first few ads, and if you don't get your first few ads, at least your very first ad reviewed by your coach before running it. And that's purely just because your coach has kind of, they've at least been with Project Q or with CEO Movement for that's going to happen a lot. I had a coaching call yesterday, and every time I was like, yeah, so Project Q1. But just make sure that well, actually your coach has been in Project Q1. Your coach has been in Project Q1 CEO for kind of at least a space of a month or more. And I know some of you guys are under Adam Gately. He's been in as long as I have. Ryan Fuoliver has been in the longest. So just make sure that your ads are being reviewed to start with, just because obviously they'll be able to kind of iron out the first few details with you and just say, look, have you thought of a different headline, or would this picture catch your attention if you saw it on Facebook? And they'll be able to give you a completely like different opinion. And they'll also be able to check kind of spelling and grammar and everything like that for you. So that's one of my kind of highly recommendations, is to make sure that your ads are getting checked first off. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through an ad. So I know that some of you guys have already done this, but you literally come onto your ads manager, you click create. And when you are creating an ad, you always want to create a conversion ad. Unless you're kind of looking to do a page like campaign or anything like that. But at this point, we're just going to be talking about actual Facebook ads. So once you click conversions, you then want to make sure that this little drop down menu below key results is on leads, because that's what we're trying to kind of get from your ad. We're trying to get people to go click through to your website and pop their email in. You'd normally kind of change the name of this. I'm just going to call it CEO for the sake of it, and continue. Right then. So again, just make sure that you're changing every time you kind of click through to a new page. It will ask you to give it a name. So just make sure you're changing all the names, that you don't start getting confused when you're looking at them. And then this is a new ads page for me, but what you'll do is you'll select your lead pixel when you are creating your ad. And it's always the lead pixel, because we are doing a conversions ad and we are measuring leads. Make sense? Few head nods. Sweet. Right then. And depending on where you want to target is entirely up to you. I personally still stick with the UK, just because that's what works best for me. I've tried the US once upon a time. Tom's also tried the US, and we haven't had much luck with the US as of yet.
It's a different market.
It's a completely different market to kind of what we're used to in the UK. We are trying to get some kind of tips and tricks from Ferg and Mike, but as and when we'll let you know how that goes. But for now, unless you are the secret weapon and you absolutely crack the US, go for it. But at the minute, I'm just sticking to the UK. So you just pop UK in here, and this doesn't really matter, to be honest. I just normally select everyone in this location. I know some people have tried to split test it and try kind of people who live here, people who are traveling in this location. But I just leave it as everyone in this location. And in terms of your ages, I personally, again, always go 20 or above. And that's just because, in my opinion, anyone that's ever came in that's younger than 20, we had a period of time where we had quite a few kind of 17 to 20-year-olds come through, and they're just at the moment unable to secure financing. They're still quite young. They've just come out of school. They've got no kind of like credit history. So again, in my opinion, it's best to go kind of 20 and above. And then generally, you can go to whatever age you feel is best. Obviously, we have kind of, I think it's Kate that I can hear. Just going to mute you all just for a minute. Unmute yourselves as and when. But yeah, so in terms of like the top age, I generally go to kind of 34, just because that's the age. It goes up to 24, and then 24 to 34, and then I can't remember after that. But I tend to just go up to 34, and that's because with previous split tests, my ads only perform well up to 34. If you guys want to try and target a kind of older market, perfectly fine. But yeah, so you guys can kind of select up to whatever age you think would be good and fit for you. With the gender, you can either kind of go all, or you could set up a split test and do men separately and women separately. If you start with all, it makes it easier to kind of split test down, and then you can kind of cut men or cut women and go from there. So yeah, generally kind of starting up an ad, I'd go all. And then here, if you just pop in English all, unless you speak another language, I don't. You can pop that in there as well. It might kind of broaden your market a little bit. Does anybody speak a second language or third, fourth? I can see a little smile up there.
I speak Italian. But...
Ooh, I can imagine that's a very nice language.
Yeah, but I thought about it. Even if I did get Italian people, how do they train?
Maybe if you could get like bilingual Italians.
Yeah, definitely would have to be at least bilingual.
Otherwise, you'd have to just be their translator 24 hours a day.
It would be a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to learn in your own language, let alone another one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it might be something for the future. We'll keep that in your little basket for now. But yeah, so then we kind of come down to your detailed targeting. And when we get down to here, it's entirely up to you guys what you want to target. I highly recommend kind of taking a good think about the kind of person you want to attract and what you think they'd be interested in. It can be quite a difficult task. A lot of people tend to generally kind of target marketing, entrepreneurship, small business, travel. Or they'll use like one of them. So they'll use like travel, for instance. And you can see just here, this is the audience size of travel. I'm not even going to read that number out.
1.8 billion.
There we go. 1.8?
1 point whatever billion.
1 point whatever billion. There we go. 1 point whatever. And then, for instance, say teachers. So there we go. So I would recommend putting up to 3 targetings categories in, and that's just because it makes it easier to kind of, it makes it easier to decipher what kind of categories are working when you're kind of mixing them up and switching them around a little bit. So I'd recommend 3, no more than 3 really. But what you can do as well is you can exclude people. So I know Josh Stanier, he excludes people that are already interested in Enagic. So you can exclude Enagic here. So that will say employees of Enagic. You can exclude Kangen, Kangen Alkaline Water. And you can kind of exclude a certain category of people if you wanted to. But that's how you do that. So it's just underneath your detailed targeting. And you can also, within your targeting, you can narrow your audience. So as I said, you can add like 3 categories. So here, this is people who match one of the following. And we've got teacher and travel there. And then it says, and must also match one of the following. So they could be a teacher that likes...
McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Not McDonald's chicken nuggets, that like Tony Robbins. Or they could be someone that's interested in travel that likes Tony Robbins or McDonald's chicken nuggets. So that's how you do this, and that will just kind of mean that, so for instance here you could put another one, you could just put Gary V, because then you're also kind of, let me put a spell, you are also still really, oh, Gary V does not work today. There we go. What are you doing, Gareth?
He doesn't like you, you're not a fan.
Ah, there we go. He's Gary Vaynerchuk. That's why. That's why he doesn't like me. But yeah, so then essentially like your people have got a match, kind of one in the top box and one in the box below. So that's still only 2 areas of targeting. Does that make sense? Few nods, yeah. Right, guys, just a disclaimer before I drink from this bottle.
It's hard-ass moonshine.
It is non-alcoholic ginger beer, okay?
It's hard-ass moonshine.
But it looks like cough medicine. Just wanted to get that out there before a few of you are like looking at me like, what is she doing? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll move down, and just below your targeting there is this little box just here that I always forget about. And again, it might be something that you guys want to split test, but it says expand interest when it may increase conversions at a lower cost per conversion. I personally untick it, because if you're trying to define what areas of targeting are working for you, and Facebook, because it's just expanding your targeting, you don't really know if that targeting is working. So I personally untick this. Again, it might be an option that you guys kind of run 2 ads as a split test and leave 1 ticked and 1 unticked and just see how that performs. Right then. So that brings us on to your placements. Now, you always want to edit your placements, and just see why. That is because Facebook puts it everywhere that isn't going to help you. So firstly, all of my ads perform better on mobile. So I always select mobile only from the device types. And if you just head on down here, you can try Instagram posts. They work for some people. They work really well if your ad is really kind of like engaging, if people are really like interacting with your ad, or it says like, if it asks a question right at the start, something like that, something that really kind of gets people to think, or the picture's quite kind of intriguing, it will work very well. Normal ads I found haven't performed that well on Instagram, so I personally just untick it. Your audience network is, let me double check what this is again. I'm pretty sure it just throws it onto like some apps.
Yeah, it does. Whoever is affiliated with Facebook and opts in to receive adverts from Facebook will get your adverts sent to them. So little crap games on Android or on iPhone where they've paid to get marketing so they can afford to give their game away for free, your ad will appear there. So you're not necessarily, you will pay probably more premium to get your ads put there.
Yeah, so again, and obviously those people aren't particularly interested in your ad, they're just interested in playing Candy Crush or whatever people play these days. So I again untick this, and it will kind of untick all the ones below. And also Messenger, that's just, I don't know whether you guys have seen it when you're scrolling through your messages, sometimes you get a random ad in the middle of them. I personally don't take notice of them, so I don't target there, because I'm just like, if I'm not taking notice of it, who is? Yeah, so I don't target there. Sorry guys, just muted you for a second there. Just dying in the corner, don't mind me. Yeah, so I just personally untick Messenger. So if we head back up onto the Facebook category here, instant articles is entirely up to you. I like to keep it really simple and just literally go on Facebook feeds. So just this tick here. So I will untick instant articles, and that's basically just your ad will appear kind of in the Daily Mirror article or something random. Again, the only time I ever notice ads on there is when it's someone in the community and I'm like, why have they put their ad here? That's the only time I ever notice an ad in an instant article. So I personally untick that. So literally on the placement platforms, you have to have one selected, so it's gone grey at the moment. But it's Facebook and feeds. That's it. Otherwise, everything else is unticked. Dun, dun, dun. Right then, so for many of you, your daily budget will probably start at £5. So you just want to make sure that you delete whatever figure is in there. Facebook love to put all kinds of numbers in there. I know if you set up a Facebook split test, which Josh has gone through on a Go Live previously, it sets it up at about £10,000 or something crazy. So just beware that you're changing that value before you go ahead. So the last thing you want is a couple of £100 coming out of your account in a second.
If you don't change it, you will spend like £40-50 in about 10 minutes. So there's your reason to change it.
Yeah.
So a week's ad budget gets flushed down the toilet in 10 minutes.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you do get quite a few leads in that in 10 minutes, but it means you're not running ads for the rest of the week. And then also just on your conversion window, so you want to make sure down here that you are clicking 1 day after clicking or viewing. And that's purely because otherwise, if you leave it at 7 days, you're not going to see any results in Ads Manager from your ad until after 7 days. And you obviously want to know before 7 days if it's working or not. So you want to put that at kind of 1 day. Dun, dun, dun. Everything else pretty much just stays as it is. I just keep this at lowest cost. And if we press continue, so as I said on the previous page, just up top here, again, it's going to put a default name of conversions. So just change that up to CEO. And this is where the fun bit starts. This is your ad, your actual ad that people will see. So I know Camila in the community, you've probably seen her around. I know she's personally tried carousel ads previously. She isn't doing them at the moment, so I'm guessing she's gone back to single image ads, and they may not have worked so well for whatever reason. So I'd always select kind of single image ads, and then you just scroll down, and literally like this is where you upload your image. I don't even know if I've got an image to put on here for you guys. There we are, we'll go with this one. There we are, nice little cups photo. And then after that, you just you put your website URL in here. So that includes the https dot dash all of that jazz. www. That is not how I spell my name. And then your text here is literally like what your copy is going to be. So your copy is just that kind of chunk of text at the top of the ad picture, so top of here, and that is literally kind of what you guys need to get sent over to your coach, because it might be a case of you're running the same as your coaches. That's absolutely fine. It might be that to start off straight off the bat, you want to create something new, completely yourself, that you've put your heart and soul into, which is great. But again, just get somebody to have another look over it. Make sure there's no words that kind of Facebook will flag in there or anything like that. And yeah, so that's literally where your copy will go. Facebook will stop it at a certain amount of, is it 100 characters? No, more than that.
Which?
400. The top of the copy.
I'm not sure on characters, but you're allowed up to 8 lines.
It's 8 lines. So literally after 8 lines, you'll then get the kind of view more or read more little kind of button at the end. Then people can click that to read the rest of your ad.
Although if your copy is short, so it's like a 10-15 line copy, sometimes Facebook will try and squeeze it all in and show it without a read more button, just to save the end user just clicking read more for the sake of 10 words.
So that is just for an example of your headline. So obviously your headline kind of appears underneath the picture. It's quite bold. So you want something that's going to kind of catch someone's attention and really grab them. After kind of, I'm just going to see what this does. After a certain point, Facebook will cut it off and it will just kind of dwindle off into nowhere. So you want to make sure that that kind of fits within Facebook's kind of recommended letter count, number count, whatever there, just so that obviously the message you're trying to get across people can see. And just underneath here you can see that it says sign up to our free webinar. So I wouldn't put here kind of join our masterclass, because just underneath it says a free webinar. So that comes back to kind of the being streamlined and making it easy for people to understand. Just make sure that that kind of level of language is across the board and completely congruent. And then you can also have your call to action button. As a community at the moment, we've found that Learn More works the best. You can choose not to even have a button. Or you can just kind of put like send a message, which again, it's something that you guys can split test and just try out, see how it works for you. But at the moment, what's working best for everyone is the learn more button. And then after that, you literally just kind of scroll down, press confirm, and then Facebook they normally send your ad into review, especially when it's the first one or the first couple. Can take, I don't know, anything up to kind of 12 to 24 hours. It's usually kind of an hour or so max. But if it is taking a little bit longer, don't get too kind of stressed out or worried. It's just because it's kind of your first couple of ads, so they'll be keeping an eye on them and making sure you're kind of abiding by all their rules and regulations and strict language policies, etc. And making sure that you've got no bums in the picture. We tried to post a picture with girls. Was it a girl jumping into the ocean?
A man, no, two men.
Two men and a woman. A woman
jumping into the ocean off of the edge of a boat, and they were all in swimwear, and they sent back that it was a provocative image.
So I don't like ladies' bums. Make note. But yeah, so whatever it is, they'll just be kind of like taking a closer look at it and making sure that it's okay to run to their users. But that's it in terms of the actual kind of setting up, start to finish, a Facebook ad. Has anyone got any questions about it at all? You guys are welcome to unmute yourselves and chat away.
You know where it says in the headline, sign up for our free webinar, at smaller writing, have you got that somewhere on there, or is that automatically in there?
So what that is when, okay, right, trying to think of the best way to explain it. So on I own my funnel and anyone that's kind of below me in my team. So when I create their website, there's a thing called SEO data.
Search engine optimization.
So that is in the kind of SEO data, that sentence.
Right. Our coaches would do that bit for us. So
yeah. So the coaches would do that bit for you.
If we come down to here, where you've got these optional settings, I believe if you type in there,
if you type
it will change. Yeah, it changes that, so you can put whatever you want. And the same with the link. So if you've got an older funnel where your link is masked, because that's the only way it could be done, you can put your link in there. So if you just want it to say like Lilybeth instead of lilybethdawson.com, you could just type that in there. But it won't let you, so it's got to have the .com. Ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can change that there.
So, for instance, Neil and Jess, are you, and actually Kate, I'm not sure if you're watching or listening in, but you guys are under Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Adam's funnel. So when you created an ad, did it say Adam Gately or something like Project Q1 Masterclass or?
I don't think I've actually ever checked it, you know. That's why I asked it. It's probably there and I've just not noticed it because it's so many other things.
Yeah, so I think without this, your top line here will say Adam Gately or Project Q1 Mastermind or webinar or workshop, something like that. But if you want to get rid of that and make sure that it's just your link, you can just put your link again down here at the bottom. So then it will just show as your link again.
With like my name on it.
Yours has got your name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool then. Because previously, oh god, I've zoomed out. Previously, the only way we could kind of set up the funnels was to like mask. It all kind of went through to one link, but your link was your own link, if that makes sense. But on Facebook, it would show the link after your link. It doesn't particularly matter. If you guys need to pop your link in again, there it is. I'm not going to confuse you all with past stuff.
That's good, thank you.
But yeah, so just have a scroll down. If you're kind of viewing something different at the top in your headline here and at the bottom in your headline, there are ways to kind of get rid of that and type whatever you want in. So you can just write Masterclass free. Yeah, so you guys can just have a play around with that and pop whatever you want there. Any other questions?
Do you tend to get most of your pictures from Unsplash or something like that?
Yeah, so that picture there, this one, that's from Unsplash. Most of ours are actually, aren't they?
Yeah, most of them, apart from recently, we've taken a few photos and we're going to try those. But
yeah, we're going to try some selfies next.
Brilliant. I think your own ones are great. I've got to get some old travelling ones out and rebrand them, hopefully.
Yeah, the ad we're running at the moment, it's a picture of like LA, I think it's LA, isn't it?
It's just a beachfront.
It's like a beachfront crossroads sort of thing. But yeah, I think it's LA, and basically there's just like loads of people crossing the road, and then we've put like an abstract sort of colours and shapes and stuff in the corner just to kind of catch people's attention, because we noticed that people taking notice of like other people's ads. People were using like borders or like colours straight across their picture or through the middle at the side.
You can show them if you want.
Just something that's
sneak preview.
Something that just is different and catches your eye. We're on are you going on there?
You don't need that, do you?
No.
Well, it's gone now anyway.
Yeah.
Ali's got a really good one of like a pig in the sea, which you see in those adverts. And it's just, I see it quite a lot. You get so many comments on that. It's great.
Adam's running some quite similar at the moment as well. He's running there's like a turtle in the ocean and things like that. I do actually think animals are quite a good eye-catching selling point.
Yeah.
Everyone can relate to an animal though, can't they? Because everyone's like, oh, look, it's a pig in the sea. So that's the ad I'm running at the moment, where we've edited it a little bit to just...
So you've added those shapes in, have you?
That's literally just like some graffiti wall art.
It's just two Unsplash images overlaid.
Yeah, so it's just two Unsplash images and one pulled over the other. It's nothing fancy, honestly.
It's got a lot of reach. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, as you can see, so Tom's link is at the bottom, and here, this is obviously our SEO data. So register for our free masterclass and learn how you can become a full-time online entrepreneur.
We need to change that.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
I like it.
And then obviously the headline, the ad image, and then that is just the ad. You guys are more than welcome to have a quick read over it if you want. If you're reading, let me know.
Giving away my top secret.
I know, yeah. Steal his ad quick. You'll probably see it around now. You'll be like, oh, that's his ad. Seen that picture 1,000 times already. I think Adam just targets me. I get Adam's ads all the time.
Me too.
Yeah, he's good, Adam, isn't he?
Yeah. But so as I was explaining earlier on today, to save the ad, you just kind of click these three dots in the top corner. Oh, it's because we're on yours. And delete it. If I wasn't on Tom's, it's because our Facebooks are connected.
So because Lily's an admin on my business as well, she gets to.
I can't show you.
Like completely destroy my Facebook if she wants to.
I won't. Yeah, but normally you just kind of click those three circles and it'll say save post.
I quite often do that on the videos, like say Mary from your video, or you see a good video, you think I really want to see this, but I haven't got time now, but I want to watch it later. So I've got quite a saved videos.
Yeah, I do it all the time. And then at some point I'll forget, and then at some point I'm like, oh my god, I've got 10 videos to watch.
Yeah, it bugs me when mine build up as well. I've still got to watch that 2-hour Enagic one, that Dr. Michael one.
Oh, have you not watched it yet?
I keep going to press play and I'm like, I haven't got 2 hours really right now, so I'll save them for like the mastermind.
That's the
thing.
It
does look good.
The 3 dots thing.
Oh, I've already shown them. That's the thing about watching them live is like you don't ever know how long it's going to be, and you're already committed
No.
to there. So you're like, oh, I'm going to go, and then you're like, no, just watch a little bit more of it. Whereas,
especially if you've got somewhere to be at a certain time and it's over on 2 hours, you're like,
yeah.
really go, but I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'm always like, oh man, what am I going to do? Right then. I don't know why this has gone a little bit crazy. There we go. Right then, guys. So that's pretty much kind of like the ads walkthrough and everything I can give you in terms of like business manager. Let's go on to resources now. So in terms of resources for you, within the files section of the CEO Facebook group, there are tips on how to respond to more info comments. So within your ad, 99% of people say comment more info, and that's great because it gets people interacting with your ad, and you will get people kind of comment more info. But then you sit there and you think, oh God, what have I done? Because I have no idea what I'm supposed to message these people after this. So my best advice is to kind of create a conversation with them. I've been through the stages of, I used to have kind of a copy and paste message set up that I'd just kind of edit somebody's name into the top line, and I'd send the same message out to every single person that said more info. And it was a big block of text that basically directed them to the webinar, which was fine. But I never really got any interaction from that. I never got anybody kind of say, oh, what is it you do? Or how do I do it? Or I'm really interested. I never got any interaction at all. Whereas if they comment more info and then you message and just say, hey, you commented more info on my advert. Why is it that you're interested in starting an online business? And you start that conversation with them, and then you start to learn about them as a person and what it is they're interested in. You can then start tailoring the conversation to them. So, for instance, today, Tom's had someone message and say that she really wants to work from home. She doesn't want to work 40 hours, and that she's kind of had experience in online opportunities before. So at that point, as he just mentioned, we're admins on each other's page. So at that point, I messaged back and said that I basically said, oh, great, this opportunity can do absolutely that for you. You can work from home, and you can kind of decide your own hours. And then I said, I'm really interested to learn what other opportunities you've kind of done previously, and why they haven't worked out particularly. And then she kind of came back and said she tried Amazon, she's tried Avon, something else, but basically they're all kind of low ticket things. She wasn't getting much commission from them, wasn't getting much interest, and then it just really helps kind of create an actual conversation and a connection with the person you're talking to. So my best advice to you guys is, when you are responding to more info comments, is try and create that little kind of personal connection and actually have a conversation with the person. At the end of the day, they could become a new team member. Yeah, at the moment they're a stranger, but they could become someone you work with for a very long time. So just kind of bear that in mind when you are messaging people. And there's like tons and tons of resources within kind of the members area. There's how to film $1 million ad video. There's there's actual kind of like scripts on how to respond to more info comments on your ads. There's 5 word for word scripts as well. So they literally, like, I think Rob has put them together. They literally talk you through step by step, exactly what to kind of message them. And then also there's things like kind of cash advertising, the book, and other kind of resources that you guys can have a look into as well. And just here, I think we have, go into the next one. So really, really great. As I said previously, masterminds will be your absolute lifesaver. We have pretty much covered every topic there is to cover, and if not, it'll probably be the week after. If there's something that you guys really, really need to kind of that you can't find the information on and you need some help with, or you think would be a great topic to cover, absolutely pop me or Adam a message for the UK masterminds and we'll have a look into that. But generally kind of there's the US and Canada masterminds as well, so don't kind of discredit those. There's so many resources out there for you guys. There's to help with ads, there are the US and Canada mastermind calls from the 8th and the 15th of February, where Mike kind of talks about how to start your ads and how to get them up and running for like the newest members. And there's also the target audience, and that's from a tech call. So we used to have a tech call on a Sunday that would be like purely Facebook ads. So there is again another section within the files area that is purely tech calls from when we used to have those. So again, have a look over those, they're great resources. When to shut down and when to scale an ad, that again was from a tech call in October. And that cash advertising book, again, make sure if you can you have a look at that. And just within the book section here, I've also got written down the Copywriter's Handbook, the 3rd edition. So I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, Adam covered, this is the book. A couple of weeks ago.
If you want it, go on eBay, it's cheap.
It's cheap on eBay. A couple of weeks ago, Adam covered headlines from chapter 2, I think it is, from this book. Tomorrow, I'll be covering Getting Ready to Write, which is chapter 5. So make sure you kind of tune into that. Over the next kind of coming weeks, we will be going into the Copywriter's Handbook in more detail, just because there's a lot of people in the community reading it at the moment. And that is a great resource. So keep your eye on masterminds to come. And if you want the one that Adam kind of led up the other week, again, it will be within the file section and it will be described as headlines, the Copywriter's Handbook. So that is there for you guys to watch too. But yeah, generally tomorrow I'll be talking through kind of how to get ready to write and the best tips and tricks to kind of get you there. So make sure you guys turn up to UK Mastermind tomorrow as well for a little bit more information about ad writing. Otherwise, that is all of the content I had for you today. That's all my slides done, so I'm just going to jump out of this screen share and figure it out. There we go. Any questions at all, guys?
I was just going to say, could you go back to the penultimate slide on this one of the masterminds to watch? I think it was when to shut off ad scale ad, October 15th, was it tech call?
Bum, bum, bum. I'm just like completely in the wrong slides now, aren't I? This one? There you go.
That's the one, yeah.
There's also, if you guys haven't had a look at yet or seen, should be on this slide actually, but it's not. I keep forgetting. Oh God, what is it called in the file section? Josh Stania posted. It's like I'm just gonna have a quick look on my mobile. I'm not being really rude. Sorry, guys.
Was it the one we had a diagram of?
Yeah, the split testing.
I think Dad sent that to me. I need to print it out and get that up somewhere and follow it.
Yeah, definitely. It's oh my God, what is it actually called? I can't even find it now. Budgeting and split testing, I believe. Yeah, on the budgeting and split testing presentation, there is a diagram of when to kind of scale an ad, when to shut off an ad, at what cost and what point to do that. So just have a look at that. Maybe screenshot it so you've got it on your phone for reference, or print it out, as Neil just said, which is a great idea. Pop it on your desk or somewhere around, so it's somewhere that's kind of in view when you're creating ads. But yeah, again, definitely a really good resource. I know Josh and Mike spent a lot of time kind of putting that together.
Lily, sorry, where did you find that at?
So in the Facebook group, the CEO Facebook group, there is the files section. Load. So that's the group. When you click on files, it's literally bum bum bum. She says she's lost it now. I think this one might be it as well, actually. Yeah, so when you go into the files section, under Josh, there is, can you see the one that's called budgeting and split testing?
No, I don't really see that.
Did not see it very well.
Oh, your screen is small, sorry. I heard you.
Let me, I think we've finished this now, actually, haven't we?
Yeah, there you
go. So it's the budget testing.
Ah, got it. Okay.
By Josh Stanier. And then, yeah, when you click into that, it brings up like a whole presentation, but it's literally like, I think it's this one of the last ones. Yeah, there we go. So that's what you're looking for.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
It's quite small, so obviously when you've got it, you can have a look at it properly yourself. But yeah, it's a really good tool and resource to use. Oh my god. Any questions at all, guys? No?
Do you still want me to go through that stuff, what I was doing that you shouldn't do?
If we shouldn't do it, then I guess yes.
Well, it's not that you shouldn't do it, it's just that I did it and spent like maybe 100 quid on basically not many leads.
I'd rather save £100 if I'm honest. I'm sure everyone else.
Okay, so what I was doing basically was I was writing ads, and they were decent ads. I was getting them reviewed and people were responding well to them, and I was setting them live, and then nothing much was coming from them. Like I might get a lead every other day or something, and instead of just leaving it live and letting it run its course and let Facebook do its learning and optimizing, I was shutting it down and then starting again. So the Facebook algorithm has a 7-day or 10 result learning window. So your ad either needs to be running for 7 consecutive days, or you need 10 results before Facebook's algorithm will have learnt where to push your ads to for the best results.
That's really good, because I was doing similar. My first ad looked like it done pretty well in comparison to my ones I'm running now, that I think are much better, where I've learned myself. But I keep tweaking them, say, every other day, and just seems to be dropping off like one.
Are you just doing like small tweaks though, Neil?
Yeah, I learned to duplicate instead of edit it. Ali was telling me it's better to keep kind of certain things, algorithms, I guess. So yeah, it might just be like a tweak of a headline, or maybe add a tiny bit of copy. Sometimes play with a picture. Like you say, animals were good. I kind of went to an animal, then I've recently gone away from the animal. But maybe when I'm off to Chicago next week, so after that I'll have more money to sort of be able to run maybe a couple of small spend ads, which I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah, I think when you start, it is hard because you're so keen to try so many different things.
You're just results driven, and well, I am especially. Like I said to Lily, the thing I find hard is that when I first started, I did something that is completely abnormal in the community, and I got 3 sign-ups off of my second ad, which is completely abnormal, like rare as hell. I won't say I'd repeat it on any ad, because 3 sign-ups off a single ad that ran for 3 days is unlikely, but And then I was fixated on that result, and every time an ad wouldn't perform like that over 3 days, I'd shut it off and start again.
That's exactly what I've done. I've done
And
similar.
it is your own detriment because you never actually get any data to work with to see what you should change in that ad. Like, you might have a winning copy, but your headline needs work, or your image is a bit like not non-congruent.
You need to make small changes, if anything, and not very often. Whereas, like Tom, for instance, he's very creative. However, to his detriment, he comes home having written an ad every single day and wants to run a new one every single day.
I've not written that ad for about 2 weeks now, actually.
He's doing well, but he did write about 14 at one point, and I was like, you cannot possibly run all of these, and you can't keep shutting them off to run the new ones. So just kind of, if it is just like a headline and you've run the ad for a couple of days and you're like, you know what, it's not actually getting as many people as I think it could, and you really like the copy, maybe change the headline up, but try and make kind of minimal and kind of, I'd say, like one change at a time. So just change the headline, then just change the copy, and then just change the picture. Just
I was getting quite a bit of lead from Spain, because weirdly I just whacked it in there as almost a tester, and that's actually been my best market at the moment.
Really?
I think
yeah.
Earlier on, Lily spoke about the option to include everyone in this location, or everyone that lives in this location. The benefit you have from having it as everyone in this location is that they're going to speak English regardless, because that's also in your targeting. But if you happen to hit somebody that's in the UK but from China, and they're like, fuck yeah, I want in on this, then now you've opened up the Chinese market to yourself.
I mean, China's not great because I'm sure they don't have Facebook there, but any other country, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, crikey, if you could break that.
Of all countries for you to pick in the world.
Country, so basically, it's like Gonzalo that I brought in. He's native to Portugal, so I've got the benefit now where I've got a guy that can write Portuguese ads, even though he's not comfortable doing that. I'm sure once he's got a few ads up and he's confident in writing, he will be confident in writing in his native tongue and sending it out to Portugal.
Brilliant, that's really good for you if he's on your team, isn't it? And himself,
you might start looking like I did and get someone that is bilingual and then can, or is from a different country and can hit that country. Because the worst thing you can do is target people where you have no relatability to them at all. Because if they, like you say, for example, you target ex-military and you've got no military background, you could get some serious repercussions, because they're like, oh, you're advertising to me, but you weren't a brother in the military, etc.
We actually do have a kind of example of that. Some of the guys that were advertising at one point were, or had a past of being ex-military, or had kind of family members that were in the military, etc. And I know Adam Gately actually tried to run an ad to the military, and he brought in around 3 sign-ups. I think they were quite expensive leads though, whereas anyone that was ex-military strangely was getting really low-cost leads, whereas Adam's were quite a high-cost lead. But he was bringing them in anyway. Adam hasn't got any history in the military, and at one point one of them was just like, you're just scamming everyone from the military, blah 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 blah, and like literally like these 3 people that he brought in that were all ex-military all kind of got together and were like, no, you've done this to my kind of, I don't even know what they call each other, like my soldier or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, what's going on? So it's definitely best to kind of, this is why I say kind of think about your targeting. What are you interested in? What can you connect with people about? What is going to bond you to a stranger, essentially, other than this business? They're going to be kind of your work colleague. You're going to be kind of working with them for a very long time. So just bear that in mind as well.
No Hell's Angels then. Okay, I'll cross that off.
Any questions, guys? No. Adair, we still got your business partner in the room, or she done one?
She left.
Oh no. I hope she turns up to our next meeting.
Yeah, the other room is more interesting than us.
Right then, guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go and get myself some cough medicine, some actual medicine, not this drink.
Yeah, we'll see.
Thanks. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Lilybeth.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.